He picked Kemba Walker.
Giannis might need to be T Higgins' agent because Giannis like I ain't playing all that tag stuff. We ain't doing all that. Y'all want to play tag? It look like he about to play freeze tag with the NFL because the Bengals is playing around, right? They want to play around with their number two receiver who could be a number one on any team. It's kind of funny because I think they almost did the same thing with Tyler Boyd, and he said, "You know what? I'm out. I ain't got time for this. I see where this is going. You already paid the quarterback. Now it's time to pay Chase, and I'm in the middle of y'all trying to pay Chase too. So it's come out that the Bengals are planning to put another franchise tag on wide receiver T Higgins, and going off of what Davey Schefter put in the NFL chat, I think the second tag is worth about 26 M's. So Davey Schefter, how you feel about T Higgins getting his second tag?
Ask for a trade. They give you a tag. Ask for a trade. They don't. They don't. They don't. They don't value you. Plain and simple. They don't value you. If they valued you, they would give you a long-term contract. They wouldn't even talk about a franchise tag. They're trying to hold you hostage and make you stay without a long-term contract because they don't believe that you are who you really are. They don't believe that your impact is important. They clearly don't watch the game. That owner does not care about paying players. You look at the history of the Cincinnati Bengals. You tell me one player other than Joe Burrow that they paid that supposed to have gotten paid. Don't worry, I'll wait. They don't have a history of that.
You don't want me, man.
This is, people talk about like the Panthers, the Jets, and all these other teams. No one talks about the Bengals not paying nobody. This is also one of the worst ran franchises in the league. Yes, they got to the Super Bowl a couple of seasons ago because they got Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins. And Tyler Boyd was also on that team along with Joe Mixon. Two of those players are now gone. Joe Mixon, Tyler Boyd, gone. Also, they had some defensive players that were also there too. Jesse Bates, gone. He in Atlanta now. He gone. But you know what? You know who else is on the horizon? That I know this is about T. Higgins, but Trey Hendrickson is another person in that defense. He gonna have to get paid soon. They gonna do the same thing to him. They're gonna franchise tag him. Look at the situation they're going through with Jamar Chase. They didn't even give him his contract yet. He said, I should be the highest paid player other than the quarterback in the league. And he proved that last season. He got a triple crown. There's conversations about him being the best wide receiver in the league. He got the triple crown, so he deserves to be in the conversation. People still might say Jettis. I'm one of those guys. Some people might say Tyreek Hill. I'm not one of those guys. I'm putting Jamar Chase ahead of him. But Jamar Chase still hasn't gotten his contract yet. And T. Higgins is like, look, I want to be here, but I want a long-term contract. He's telling you that he wants to play for your franchise. He wants to play with Joe Burrow. He wants to play with Jamar Chase. But you're being selfish by not giving him the contract he deserves. You saw the impact that he made in your team when he wasn't there. When he's hurt, your team ain't the same with just Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. Your tight end isn't a Mark Andrews. He isn't a Travis Kelce. He's not a George Kittle. He's not a Dallas Goedert. He's not one of those kind of tight ends. He's serviceable. Don't get me wrong. He's serviceable, but he's not a game-changing tight end. So you don't have that on your roster. You have Chase Brown as your running back. He's good. Don't get me wrong. But we saw the difference that Joe Mixon made when he went to the Texans this year. So what are you going to do? Are you going to give him his contract that he rightfully deserves, or you're going to continue to create friction between you and T. Higgins? T. Higgins, look, I'm telling you this right now. I'm not an NFL player. I've never been a pro player in any sport, but being in a situation like that where you feel like ownership doesn't value you, go somewhere else. Ask for a trade. If they're only going to give you a franchise tag, which is $26 million, then don't get me wrong, $26 million is a lot of money. It is. But you know your value. Your value is not worth just $26 million for a 1-year contract. And then you might get tagged again the next year. and then tagged again. Go somewhere else. If they're not going to give you a long-term contract, go somewhere else. Go somewhere where you're valued. There are other teams that will pay you a long-term contract. You got the Patriots that's out there. They got a lot of money. You got the Commanders out there. They got a lot of money, and they got a quarterback that just went to the NFC Championship game in his first season in the NFL. You got that. There are plenty of other teams out there that will spend money to get you there. You got the Ravens, who's right in the same division as them. They will give you some money. They just paid Lamar Jackson. They went and signed Derrick Henry. They'll pay you some money. Go where you're valued. Don't go where they think you'll be okay for you.
Them to bring me my money.
All right, so 26 M's is a lot of money. We can say that. But how much is your value? How much are you worth? How much do you feel like you're worth? What about the dedication and sweat that you bring to the team? Because remember, the clip went out, I guess, when he was injured. You know, they was going to training camp and they would run up the hill if they healthy. So that right there lets you know that you have some stock equity and sweat equity with this team, right? The fact that the Bengals remind me so much of a team that gets so much media coverage, but they don't get the blame when they don't do the right thing. Because imagine if the Cowboys would have let CeeDee Lamb get tagged twice. I don't even think there would have been Super Bowl coverage the amount of times that we would have talked about how bad the Cowboys was and what they did with this. But again, it always finds a way for this team to be brought up is the Cowboys because the Bengals have everything they need. They have their franchise quarterback. You have your franchise wide receiver. You found your franchise pass rusher right there. So you have the pillars of the foundation. And it's funny that we was just having a conversation about it in the NFL chat again about how the Bengals offensive line was so bad that the defense was good, and now the defense is so bad that the offense is there. So now imagine if you take away another weapon that's needed. Now, granted, Chase Brown ain't no slouch. That is, they did find a way to make up there with the running backs. But again, you take away another weapon. Now you got Jamar Chase out there getting triple teamed, and who else you gonna throw the ball to? Because you let Tyler Boyd walk. So again, I thought Higgins was the replacement for Boyd. So now you got the 1-2 punch there. Again, I'm going with Dave too about your tight ends. So you're taking away weapons from your quarterback who's going to need them, and the rapport is there. A player comes out and say, "I want to be here." That should make life 10 times easier for any franchise. And this is why the NFL and some GMs won't say it, but this is why Howie is as good as he is. Because they don't even have to say they want to be an Eagle. You just walk up and be like, "Look, man, you got 3 years left. I got 15 for you right now." And they sign. They be like, 15 right now? And then they get 26 on the back end. All their players is locked up. This is why they talking about their team about to be a dynasty because all their players is young and locked up. This is what you do. You don't wait to the last minute. This is a big gripe with Jerry Jones. You keep waiting to the last minute. And now players who weren't worth anything, okay, the 49ers too, but players who weren't worth as the amount of money that you could have offered them when you first got them, you wait till they become all pros and they start leading in statistical categories. And now you're like, well, we can't pay you. Well, when I was getting 500 yards and 6 touchdowns, you should have came to the table. Now I'm an all pro. I got 1,300 yards and 18 touchdowns. What you think I'm going to want? So, yeah, I don't like it. I'm with you, Dave. I would demand a trade.
All right. So I look at it a little differently. First of all, they said, your owner must not watch you play football. And look, by the way, they tight end got the best gritty in the NFL, by the way. Shout out to Gasecki.
That's cap.
But I'm looking at it different, y'all. So look, I'm looking at what happened. Okay, last year they tagged T. Higgins. I looked at it like, okay, cool. What y'all doing? All right, tag T. Higgins. They had no conversations of an extension. And so that happened. Last year his agent was David Mulligetta, who was the same agent as Jordan Love, who got him paid. Calvin Ridley, who got paid. Michael Parsons, who about to get paid. And the cash cow himself, Deshaun Watson. So you would figure that he'll get a deal. But guess what? This same agent that he had before has never had a Bengals person as his client and got an extension with the Bengals. So the last person he had, you mentioned him, Dave, Jesse Bates, was there. Jesse Bates was a key part of that Super Bowl run. I always tell you that defense carried Joe Burrow there, and Jesse Bates is a big part of that. Shout out to Carl for mentioning that on R2L before the playoffs started. Jesse Bates is going to be a big part of that. And he walked. He went to a different team, went to Atlanta. Atlanta doing pretty good defensively. So what he do? He fired him. He fired the agent. I'm like, okay, he fired the agent. Okay, that means he might want to stay with the, Joe Burrow. All year, what Joe Burrow say, y'all? Keep T. Higgins. All year. Keep T. Higgins. Joe Burrow is your franchise quarterback. So last thing you want to do is what? Piss off your franchise quarterback. Last thing you want to do. If he say keep T, what Dak say? You gotta pay Zeke. What Jerry do? He pays Zeke. Ain't that right, Tomo? He ain't paying Amari, though.
Dak was tripping on that one. I'm gonna let you finish. Dak was tripping. Dak should have got his money first. I don't know why. He a good guy. He also
said pay Amari, but I don't think he paid Amari. Did he pay Amari?
He paid him.
My man, there it is. It's your franchise QB. He said, no, you're gonna keep. We need T and Jamar here. So what he do? T goes out and get a new agent, right? Rocky Arsenault. Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. Which is the same agent as Jamar Chase. Okay, cool. We going somewhere. There have been some talks of a potential extension. It's the reason why that they're going to franchise tag him, because Jamar Chase is up next. They got to make sure they take care of Jamar Chase first. T. Higgins is a free agent, literally. So they have to franchise tag him. Jamar Chase has another year on his belt, so they could extend the talks a little longer than usual, right? So I do believe there are some good signs that says that the Bengals are going to sign T. Higgins, because Joe Burrow has voiced it. Jamar Chase has voiced it also. Jamar Chase put himself on the line and went out and had a triple crown. They're going to pay Jamar Chase. I think we all know that. If they don't pay Jamar Chase, this guy here. I don't know what to say.
You didn't even want to say it.
Right? So we all believe they're going to pay Jamar Chase, but before they pay T, they got to pay Jamar. And lastly, Trey Hendrickson. Yes, he's due for a contract. I think he has 1 more year left. He has 1 more year left on his contract. So he might hold out, right? Or he might have to get traded. One of the two, right? If I'm the Bengals, I might let him go. I might trade him, tell you the truth. Because he had a season he had last year. And they still were one of the worst defenses in the league. So, You said what, Dave?
That's not on him.
No, it's not. My whole point is you still had a bad defense with the production he had, and why pay him more money what gives you less money to build around the defense? And you got to pay T, and you got to pay Jamar. So my thing is, I'm going to pay Jamar. I'm going to pay T. I'm going to trade Trey. Trade Trey and get something back for him and build around the defense through the draft, and etc. Because with him, you're literally gonna be in the straitjacket. You're gonna have 4 guys, high paid under your cap, which is not worth it. So I'll be willing to walk away. Not yet, you're almost there. I'll be willing to walk away with Trey and keep T, because when I look at the Eagles, forget the Eagles. The Eagles got Devontae and AJ Brown. They kept them together. But Howie was smart, like Tomo said. He got them paid early. Now, you look at Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow looked a little different when I traded T. Higgins this year. I know that, right? Little bit different. When they played that Patriots team, he ain't had T. Higgins. So you want to keep them two together because Joe Burrow's production is different when both of them are on the field. Trey Hendrickson, him on or off, they were still bad, bro. That's all I'm saying. They still bad. So I'm willing to walk with him and keep T. But I think signs I pointed to, and Trey is 30 years old. I'm not saying his career is over, because I think he'll go somewhere, like maybe us, I don't know, and be dominant. But I'm willing to part ways with him or whatnot. No, it ain't nothing to do with us, Dave. But but he's 30 years old though. So I think signs are pointing to them signing T. Higgins though. That's why I'm not tripping on this franchise tag for
them. The franchise history is why I'm tripping on
the history.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
that's
with
the only
you.
reason why.
And that's the same thing with me. The history says otherwise.
I'm with you on that. I
And
am.
plus, and like you said, Jamar Chase doesn't have his contract yet, and they had
He
an
don't.
issue. They had issue with him last year when he was asking for his contract. So that's what I'm going based off recency and based off history.
I'm with you.
Then you
Guilty
don't
until
pay
proven
him.
innocent with them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Then you
I'm
don't
with
pay
you.
him, and now he get triple crown. Now you really gotta pay him. But also, like I think they said it on Hard Knocks. The owner of the Browns is the brother who started the actual Bengals, so it all kind of makes sense with the AFC North. So again, if I'm wrong in that quote, if I'm wrong with what I just said, tell me in the comments because y'all been telling me all week. Just like how, go ahead.
And real quick, also, the real question is this though. Here's the real question. I think. When will they pay Jamar? So like, let's say we all agree they will pay him. The question is when though, because are you going to do what I did last year with Jamar, or do what the Cowboys did, linger it, and then other receivers gonna get paid? Boom, 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 boom. Next thing you know, T. Higgins' price goes up, and then it just throws off the flow of the offense. So the sooner the better. And the fact that you just said that he hasn't paid Jamar yet. It's like, what you doing, bro? You should have had a contract ready as soon as the season was over.
Exactly. Exactly.
It was over. After I would have seen the Cowboys muff the punt. Pick up your contract, man. We still got a chance. Like, that's a lot. But I'm just saying. If you still got a chance to make a playoff, that's when you got to play it. You got to pay him. But we're going from one franchise who